Good evening and thanks for joining us. Many Vancouver residents and firefighters are still mopping up after two massive fires requiring resources to be called in from neighboring cities.
Yeah, the worst of them is in the Dunbar neighborhood, a condo under construction igniting into a terrifying inferno. Alissa Thibault joins us live with the latest from there. And Alissa, it really is a miracle nobody was seriously hurt here.
Absolutely, Chris, and when you consider just how much damage has been done here, you can probably still see the crane over my shoulder here. It is still lying across 41st Avenue. It actually fell onto a house and somebody had to be rescued. Homes blocks away from here were damaged or destroyed by flying embers. People described hearing explosions. They say this was just an incredibly terrifying thing to witness. Under intense heat, the crane crashed down on 41st Avenue after a 6-story building under construction went up in flames.
We heard several explosions and we assumed it was maybe gas.
From here, we felt the heat. That's how hot it was.
The crane brought down power lines and trolley wires and landed on top of a home.
An individual was trapped inside that house. Between our firefighters and VPD, we extricated that patient from a window in order to evacuate them from a house when it was safe to do so.
The fire so intense it created its own wind, sending huge pieces of burning embers into the air.
We had embers flying even through Pacific Spirit Park that our colleagues were responding and putting out.
Fire spreading so quickly to other properties, locals jumped in to help.
A lot of people right here in the immediate vicinity were out with garden hoses on their roofs, and because the chunks were coming down and creating situations.
There are no reports of serious injuries, but some firefighters suffered minor injuries. By around 11 p.m, Vancouver Fire Rescue says crews were starting to mop up the scene, though one resident says she was woken around 4:30 in the morning.
I think it was a fireman yelling, "Fire, fire," repeatedly. So I came downstairs and I saw him running down the street here, getting his truck to turn down the street to make sure that the house that was fully ablaze 4 houses down from me was getting the attention that it needed.
1 block away, a home had caught alight from embers. The residents, luckily, were not home.
It was pretty scary all around.
2 homes are destroyed and at least 7 others damaged. And many are realising how close their property came to catching fire too.
Afterwards, I was like, this feels post-apocalyptic.
Alissa, the road obviously is still closed behind you with that crane laying across it. Any idea when it could reopen to traffic?
Yeah, actually a number of streets on either side of 41st are still closed as well, Chris. And considering how much work has to be done, you can assume that this won't open anytime soon. There's been no official timeline given. Power is actually still out on this street. A number of businesses here are still closed. Some residents closer to where the fire was are still out of their homes. And at this stage, there's also no word yet on what caused this. Chris?
Feel for the residents and businesses in that area for sure. Alissa, thanks very much.